Hey everybody, my name is Danielle and this is Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me. Your presence is very much appreciated. So welcome back. I wanted to chat about the Big Brother season 24, BB24 premiere night. So if you're interested, keep listening. Okay, I loved premiere night only because it's premiere night. It's a new season of Big Brother, season 24. Yeah, but if I'm honest, it was a little underwhelming. But we have an entire season to go. And with this cast, from what I'm seeing already on the live feeds, these people are ready to play and they will bring the drama. Right? Yes, they will. All right, so they kicked off like every season. They start by introducing to the house guests. We get an introduction. I think it's 4 house guests at a time. And that's how they enter the house as well. So we see them in their hometown where they get the Big Brother key. You know, that little skit and stage thing that they do. And they're like, I'm going to the BB house. The first 4 house guests we are introduced to are Paloma, Jasmine, Monty, and Kyle. The second 4 are Alyssa, Daniel, Taylor, and Michael. And what I wanted to say about this group was my hope was that this group would align or would want to align with one another, right? Alyssa, Daniel, Taylor, and Michael. That's what I hoped for. I don't think that'll happen, but we got a lot of game to play. Also, Daniel, I told you in my first impressions episode that he is one to watch. Yeah, and I have a bit to say about that a little later. But he is one to watch. He's also a live feeds watcher, right? And we also noticed how emotional he got in the DR because he was so excited and overwhelmed with being in the BB house. I like that part. And also I noticed, or I observed, I should say, that Michael, he was a gentleman and held the door open for the ladies when they walked into the home. He was the only one that did that. All right. The third set of house guests were Nicole, Turner, Joseph, and Brittany. And you say, Danielle, Joseph? Yeah, Joseph is the new guy replacing Marvin. And I happen to like Marvin. I thought Marvin would be very, very likable in this game. And for whatever reason, he is out, Marvin, and Joseph replaced him. Yeah, so we have Joseph. Brittany, we learned that she was a belly dancer, which surprised me, you guys. She said that she'll be the goofy girl. And then she gave this goofy face. And I want to see how long this lasts. Yeah, I told you in the cast reveal and in my first impressions what I thought about Brittany. I think people will have to protect their energy around her. She is a bit much. Okay. Or that was my first impression of her, I should say. After seeing the live feeds right now, I don't think I'm wrong. All right. The last 4 house guests were Terrence, Indy, Pooch, and Amira. We learned that Terrence, he is AKA DJ Showtime. And I in my cast reveal or first impressions video, I can't remember which one. Or maybe I said it in both. I thought that there was an undercurrent with Terrence in terms of he had a little Rox Roy in him, and now I based that off of the interview questions that I seen the house guests answer. I don't think that anymore. So I take it back. I stand corrected, and thank God, because Rox Roy came off a little. He didn't. I don't know. I didn't care for Rox Roy, right? But once you got to know him, and they shared a moment where he was emotional and just embracing being on Survivor and stuff. It was nice. So I had a different look for him. But I just was really turned off with how bossy he was. Anyway. And Indy, she says she's funny in Portuguese. She may not be funny as an American or in America, but she's funny in Portuguese. or was she talking about the language? I'm not sure. Yeah, she was talking about the language, I think. She says when she's like with her friends, and maybe she was trying to say that it may not translate to English well, but we'll see. All right. They started off with the BB Fest, right? Each house guest, when they entered the home, they had to pick a ticket and scanned it. And that ticket would land them in one of three booths. The porta potty, the merch, and then piercing booth. And they would compete in each of those booths, those house guests. And the winner from each of those booths would compete for the HOH. In the end, Daniel won the HOH. And I was happy to see this. He looked strong. And I was happy about that. I seen a little bit of him on the live feeds. I'll talk about this later. And I'm like, I think I thought too highly of Daniel and the type of game he would play. But I'll talk a little bit about that later. All right. Then we had the backstage pass element of this first night, the first night's competition. Pooch, he happened to scan the ticket and he got the backstage pass. So that meant he would not participate in any competitions this week. He cannot be nominated. So he's basically safe for the week, and he will not be voting. And with that pass, he had to pick 3 other house guests to, I guess they call them to be the backstage crew or something to that effect. They are not safe, right? And are they on slop or something? No, they are not safe. So they still can be put up. And I think they are on slop, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember that part. But they also will not be participating in any competition, so they can't save themselves in a veto or anything like that. And they also will not be voting, right? And the twist with that is that America can impact who amongst the 3 house guests that were selected to be in that backstage crew, who would be voted to, we get to vote to see which one of those 3 we can keep safe. And I guess I didn't name them. The 3 people that were selected were Paloma, Alyssa, and Brittany. And he picked Paloma and Alyssa because they were the first people out in their respective booths during that competition. And I can't remember why he picked Brittany or the reason he gave, but Brittany wound up there. And so that's pretty much how the night ended. Daniel is HOH. Pooch has the backstage pass. He picked 3 house guests, Paloma, Alyssa, and Brittany, to be part of the backstage crew. And the backstage people, the 4 of them, they cannot participate in any competitions. They cannot be nominated. And America will get to vote. Pooch is the only one that cannot be nominated. They all cannot participate in competitions, and they all will not have a vote, the 4 of them. But Pooch is the only one that cannot be nominated. And then America will have its say in terms of who to keep safe. And I saw someone on Twitter say, let's all vote to keep Brittany safe so we can still have a little crack in the season. Or something to that effect. It was really funny. They were implying like, let's keep Brittany so we can keep the crazy in there. I found that to be funny. All right. A few observations. Like I said, the episode was a little underwhelming, but I still enjoyed it because it's Big Brother and it's premiere night and we have a long season ahead. So I was just all hyped up and excited. But it was a little boring. The piercing competition was kind of weird to me. I didn't like that competition. It looked painful. I don't think, BB, you need to hold on to that competition. I did get a kick out of the porta potty and the dumping of that liquid on them. It caught them off guard and it just really pounced them. So yeah, during the competition, they were answering questions. Whoever came in last will get that liquid. But it was funny because no one knew. Like the very first person is always the one that was surprised, and it surprised everyone, and it was hilarious because I think Paloma was the one that answered the question wrong, or she was the first one out. And so that when that came down, it surprised everyone, and it covered her. It looked like blue paint. And it's so funny because later on that night, after she took a shower and changed, she says, I still have blue on my face. So that was hysterical. But yeah, I got a kick out of that. Another observation, Julie, she is still giving her outgoing message. And I think every time she does a live, I'm going to say her outgoing message. And this week's, or the premiere night's, message was love one another. All right. I did watch a little of the live feeds this afternoon. We already have a final two between Paloma and Alyssa. I really appreciate how they are they're playing the game. I was going to say attempting to play the game, but they are playing the game. I appreciate how they think how good they're playing so far. It's only night one, right? And they have it all mapped out. They're strategizing. Which really I think is Paloma, right? Paloma is the head here. They don't like Taylor. And that's so disappointing. I like Taylor. And we're going to have to see how this evolves. But Paloma does not like Taylor. And so right now what it looks like is that Paloma doesn't like Taylor, so Alyssa doesn't like Taylor. Now, I don't think Alyssa is as much as a follower as it's appearing to be because it's so new. But yeah, Paloma and Alyssa have a final two. Scorpion Sisters or something like that. They hugged. I think that's the name of their alliance. I don't know. One of the big BB fans, they'll do a whole alliance chart. And so once we get that, I'll share. Anyway, it's so disappointing that they don't like Taylor. So we have to see how that evolves. They plan to get one of the guys to fall in love with Taylor so they can target that showmance and get her out. These ladies are just thinking so far ahead, right? They've already sized up, and when I say they, Paloma and Alyssa, they've already sized up everyone in the house and how well they are playing or can compete. Like they said, Jasmine, although they think Jasmine is very loyal and they want her in the alliance, they don't think she'll do well in the comps. And I'm like, oh, wow. They are already thinking so far ahead. That always cracks me up. They also said that they need Kyle, Pooch, Jasmine, and Monty with them in a final six or in a six-person alliance. And they'll get 2 more people as an extra just in case. So they are planning and they are planning all these alliances. Yeah. Brittany, she thinks Pooch looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm not sure that I see it, but whatever. Daniel. Now, I talked about how much I like Daniel earlier, how much I thought he would do well in the game, and he's one to watch. He talks a lot. Daniel talks a lot, you guys, and about himself. So I don't know how well Daniel will fare if he keeps doing this. He's talking a lot. Maybe it's because he's head of household. I don't know, but I thought highly of him based on the interviews and how he studied the game and how much of a fan he was. And he tried for 10 years or something like that. I'm not sure. He needs to stop talking so much. Michael. Now, I think he's another one to watch. Big super fan. He is itching to talk game, but on night one of the feeds, you have to keep it cool, so he's playing the cool. He's playing it cool. He's trying. But I can't wait to get him on the live feeds, a little more of him just to see how he plans. I hope he gets with Taylor so she needs somebody strong. And speaking of Taylor, I think people are going to take Taylor the wrong way if they haven't already. I think they're reading her wrong. I hate this for Taylor. She's very strong. She has her own voice. She's smart. She's beautiful. And some people in the house, they can't handle it already. Specifically Paloma. Paloma thinks Taylor is condescending. They don't like her. I don't know why she's coming across that way to them. But I hate this for Taylor. I'm worried for her. I don't think I'm wrong in terms of how much they dislike her already. Watch. It just feels like Taylor, in my opinion, she's not vibing as well as I thought she would, right? I'm just really worried for her. I hope she aligns with someone solid like a Michael or even Nicole, right? I just hope she does not get into a showmance with Monty. The girls are implying that she likes him or something's, because they keep making reference to like, yeah, I looked at Monty and then Taylor looked at me and I just had to make sure. Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? So I didn't catch how this started, but yeah, I think they're reading Taylor wrong. And Taylor, unfortunately, she's not vibing like I thought she would. I wanted her to vibe, and so soon like this. I'm hoping this isn't a trend with Taylor. I'm hoping she hooks up with someone solid, and hooks up mean like or aligns with someone solid, I should say. By the way, Nicole is all in and around and about socializing. She's not awkward. So maybe her interview and my first impression from her from the interview, it just was a misread on my part, because Nicole is not, she's blending in, she's working, she's cooking, she's already, she's in. I like what's happening with Nicole. Maybe Taylor can, no, I don't want Taylor to mess up Nicole's game. You guys, I'm so worried for Taylor. All right. Joseph, the new guy that replaced Marvin, he thinks he needs to lose weight. I can't. All right. Brittany, she's trying hard with Paloma and Alyssa. Remember, Paloma, Alyssa, and Brittany are the backstage people. She's trying to connect with them. It's not working. Alyssa is more open to engaging with people, it looks like. No, not Alyssa. Yeah, Alyssa. More than Paloma, I think. But yeah, Brittany's trying. Oh, and BB has Shea Moisture products. Okay. All right. So I didn't want to make this too long. It's already 17 minutes. So that's all I have. Premiere night, a little underwhelming, but we're getting to see the house guests. Daniel is the HOH. Pooch is the backstage person, and the three people in the backstage crew are Paloma, Alyssa, and Brittany. And what that means is they cannot vote. They cannot compete in any competitions. Pooch is safe out of the four of them. And America gets to decide who to save out of the three girls, the three backstage people. All right. And we're all going to vote for Brittany because we want to keep the crazy. All right. And that's all I have. I'd like for you to like, share, follow, and subscribe, all of which will help my channel grow. So thank you in advance. All right. My name is Danielle, and you're listening to my podcast, Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me. Ooh, let me say that again. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, I appreciate your support. And that's all I have. Thanks again for listening. What is going on with my tongue? Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.